Hey YouTube, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video, and this is a video idea I've been putting off for a while and something I've really wanted to talk about, and I don't know why I keep putting it off, but I'm going to name about 3 status effects real quick, and I want you to tell me what all of them have in common. Blindness, oblivious, and exhausted. What do all of these have in common? Every single one of them is not possible for the killer to know that you have it. Now, why does that matter? Now, exhausted is the one example here that's a bit different in blindness in certain circumstances. And I don't necessarily mean that the killer doesn't know that you don't have the status effect. They don't know if it affected you in any way, right? If a killer brings blindness and you're blinded and you can't see any auras, if you don't have any aura reading perks, until the end game happens and they can see what perks you have, they have no idea if it did anything. Even if they do know you have aura reading perks, like something like Windows of Opportunity, for all they know, you didn't go to the window because it was out of your FOV, not because you were blinded. With Oblivious, maybe you were able to catch up because they didn't hear your terror radius. Or maybe you were able to catch up because they didn't see you. Or maybe they weren't paying attention. Exhausted is another good one. There are so many cases where I'll run an exhaustion build, and it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it will. The survivor doesn't even have any exhaustion perks. And if it's something like Mindbreaker or Blood Echo or an add-on that causes exhaustion, for all I know, the effect is already over. They stood still long enough. You know, that's the biggest issue with a lot of these status effects. Which brings us into some of the perks. Something like Chlorophobia, something like like Blood Echo. These are perks that have effects that you don't see the inherent value of and have no way of doing it. Chlorophobia is probably one of the prime examples. It makes healing slower, but it also makes it so they get skill checks faster. The skill checks part you'll see if they miss. The other effect you won't see. Regardless, if they're not in your terror radius, the effect doesn't stack anyways. And even if they are, you don't know if they are. It's a passive effect that you don't even get the reality of seeing if it's working, and I think that's an issue with a lot of perks. I don't think Chlorophobia is actually that bad of a perk. I just think it's something you don't see the inherent value of, therefore it's considered bad. Not to say it's an S tier perk or anything, but it's not a terrible perk. Same as something like Unnerving Presence, which, okay, to be fair, that one's not that great, but the point is you can't see that it's getting any use. There's a lot of these on the survivor side, too. Red Herring is probably one of the biggest examples. Basically, any stealth perk, you have no idea if it's actually working or if you just hid well. There's a lot of perks in this game that do this on both sides. Blood Echo is another good one. You don't know if the exhaustion did anything. And I know I'm harking on that one, but it's just true. Blindness on add-ons, you don't know if it did anything. Not just that they didn't bring the perk, but if it just didn't get any effect during the chase. Oblivious, you have no idea. There is just so many things in this game that happen to give effects that you don't know the status of or if it did anything to help you. And I really wish they would up these perks in some way, give them another effect that helps you realize that it's actually doing something. Or maybe an indicator at the top, similar to Blight's Compound 33 with the aura reading. Because even if someone's hiding in a locker, you still get the notification at the top that tells you found somebody. That's how a lot of Blights use it. To find somebody who's hiding in a locker in maybe the corner, or someone who's running distortion, it still gives you the effect up at the top to give you points. I don't know, maybe some way to make it so the perks can be more visibly shown the effect that they do. Because it does feel like a lot of perks in this game do a thing, you don't see that they do the thing, and then you don't run it because you're not sure of how well it worked. Or if it was the reason you got the down. Well, just my dumb thoughts on it. I was going to go a little bit more expensive. And at the end of the video here, I do want to talk a little bit about the video before last, where we talked about Scamper. Listen, I'm not going to bring up an entire discussion about Scamper again. All I'm going to say is I am not a survivor main, and I don't know how that opinion has come across. But yeah, maybe pay attention to the video that's being played or the streams where I only play killer. I don't want the killer nerfed, okay? Not because I don't want the killer nerfed because I play them or because I think they're too strong or anything like that. I just don't think it's fun for either side to just get hit with a Scamper. I don't know. This discourse on Scamper has been really, really fucking headache-inducing on both sides at this point. I just kind of want to drop it. I hope behavior fixes it, and I'm just kind of tired of talking about it. In any case, I love you guys. Catch you in the next one, and bye.